We're in game. All right, guys. Hello and welcome. We are here with the grand final for the Escape Gaming Masters, and some people might be feeling a touch of deja vu right now because once again, it is the Viper and Daut. We saw this already in the Battle for Angkor, and we're going to see it again. Now, a quick throwback to the Battle for Angkor Grand Final. It was the same tournament format for the main stage, and the Viper won a 3-0 victory over Daut. Once out coming from the winner's bracket, will have the home map choice here. His map of choice is going to be C Notes, which is what we're seeing now. And I'm once again joined by T90 Official and Nilpford, and I'm going to throw it over to T90 now to introduce the civs and the positions on the map and all that good stuff.
On the left, we have Daut in the blue playing as the Indians, a civilization that Viper has used well in this event. I like his map with the exception of the forward golds here. I mean, it's a very open base for him. He does have the woodline on the left, the woodline above. One thing I noticed about this map in general is that it is quite open, but we've definitely said that before. But look at Viper's map now. He has a woodline above his TC and to the left and below as well. Maybe he can close this off a little bit better, and he does have his main gold to the right of the TC, which is technically behind if you compare it to Daut. Apart from that, the resources are standard. The deer for Viper, he could lure in. I have to go back to Daut. Sorry, making things difficult on Zach, and Daut's actually luring them in as well. So, very interesting civs. And we talked about how well Viper utilized Indians. He would go scouts, and then in the Castle Age, he would transition into the skirmishers and the camels. The shoe's on the other foot now, Zach. It's going to be really exciting to see what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Viper here taking the Vietnamese, and if you just watched the last series between Viper and Slam, it was the Viper on the Indians, Slam on the Vietnamese, and now we've got Daut on the Indians, Viper on the Vietnamese. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays it differently, because I feel like the Indians are an incredibly strong civ, and as we were saying in that last game, they have so many great counter units available to them that, you know, the real strength of the Indians, I feel, comes in the late game when they can get their gunpowder and their like post-imperial army. But until that point, they have all of the counter units they need to deal with basically everything. They can hold out, they can turtle up, and if we think back to the previous games where we've seen Daut, what has Daut's primary strategy been? Boom. Every single game, he's really taken booming and ran with it, and usually until the Imperial Age even, playing incredibly passively and booming up. And if there was any civ out of this entire pool which would be more suited to that, well, it would be the Indians.
I agree, and it's funny we had this conversation, and now I think we're going to see something different from Viper. You know how I said, or sorry, you said that Viper never goes forward, and then of course he went forward, but they both have similar styles here, and Viper tends to play rather passive on the aggression front and likes to boom and Pizzico as well. I think Viper will think he has the edge in the feudal and castle age. If it gets to Imperial, he's probably not as comfortable. He may be the aggressor here, as he's playing a player who plays his style.
I just want to point something out real quickly. Look at Viper's lumber camp. That is terrible. That is so bad. He can only use 2 villagers on that lumber camp.
I didn't. Oh my gosh.
What is he doing?
That's one of the worst lumber camps. That's one of the worst lumber camps I've ever seen.
That is
until he chops those trees.
Yeah, that is probably the worst lumber camp in a pro game I've ever seen, because he cannot access. He can only chop with 2 vills. And now I don't know if he's realized this, but his wood income is going to be absolutely messed up now for the early stage of the game, because that one villager is just idle, and it's not going to show as idle because he's technically still working by trying to get to the lumber camp. So Viper, that horrible start on the wood, and I don't know if that's going to affect things too much, but if he was planning for early aggression in a barracks, who knows how late that barracks is going to be now. It's, in fact, I can tell you, it's already gone 6 minutes 30. That's the normal barracks placement time for a drush.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to drush, but if he was, that's not going to be in the back of his mind now.
I think he sent the 4th villager to wood a bit late to do the drush anyway, but this lumber camp is such a pain in the ass, I swear. That's so bad.
It just hurts to see. I think Daut will be going scouts anyway. I think Viper may go toe-to-toe with scouts, actually.
Yeah, this could be
'Cause it's going
awesome.
to be really hard to go with a flush. But okay, so one thing I like about Daut, I've seen a lot of Dauts play in Arabia, and this is actually very similar to Arabia. Daut does feudal all-ins, and they're enjoyable. Like Daut and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
Yo would do them successfully. So Daut may pull a slam in this game if he thinks he has the opportunity to do so. And when I say pull a slam, I mean pull a slam in game 1 of the losers bracket finals, which we just witnessed between Viper and Slam, where he went all in on scouts. Daut has clicked up now to the feudal age at 22 pop, and Viper actually very similar times doing the same thing.
Daut also making small mistakes here. He's only got 2 villagers gathering from the boar and 4 villagers gathering from the turkey next to it. Again, it's just these tiny things to me that shouldn't really be happening at this level, I feel. There's absolutely no reason not to have all of your villagers on that boar there, because they gather so much faster. You're going to have much more food in the bank. Well, not much more, but at this level, those small differences really add up.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing where that might be 20, 30 extra food, which means Doubt's going to have a stronger scout rush. And I feel like these players should be picking up on these small things, but I'm really not happy with Viper's woodline. It's going to get better as time goes by, but I do think that both players... well, it seemed to me like they were going to scout rush, but Viper there, adding in a militia right now.
Yeah.
He's actually going to go for the man-at-arms, it seems, with 2 villagers now going to the gold, but Daut has scouted it, and that is really valuable information at this stage.
And Viper also knows he's scouted it as well. He's chasing him down. And wasn't that just perfect timing? If he came in 2 minutes earlier and was like, okay, has he collected that 10 gold? He wouldn't have found anything, but he's coming in now. And it's impressive when players can do this. We're just talking about how they're slipping up on the small things. Well, that's a big thing. And the feudal age upgrade just hit for both players.
Yeah, absolutely. Viper here, moving out across the map with his militia right now. I think someone in the chat said that it was actually better to take the turkey rather than the boar. But that's absolutely 100% not true. So I don't know, sorry, but I don't know how you could possibly think that's the case. Anyway, it's stable coming up for Daut right now, and he's going to get it up in time, thankfully. Viper could have been here sooner with these militia, but Daut will get the stable up. The villagers are going to run back now to the TC. Not going to lose anything there. That's kind of good for Daut here, and that stable... It's quite far forward. I wonder if Viper would be tempted to come forward now because of this.
They're very close. That's one thing I wanted to say. It was in the back of my mind, but we talked about so much turkeys and boars and which is better and all that stuff, so I didn't have a chance. But seriously, Daut has walled the back of his base, but the front is very exposed. That's where his gold is, remember? And Viper's not far away from him. The man-at-arms, they have an early advantage against pretty much anything. Daut recognizes that, and he's trying to put up an archery range, but this is really cramped for Daut.
Yeah, Daut right now, I like the way he's walled this, actually, making that funnel towards the TC. What I think he wants to do, because look how far forward his gold is here, he would really like to wall out here in front, where these gold mines are, but he can't do that because, well, the pressure's on, and yeah, it's too risky to send the vills out now this army's here. Meanwhile, Viper's going to town on this stable. Let's remember, of course, that these men-at-arms get additional bonus attack versus buildings in the expansions. This stable's actually going down. Daut, though, on the counter-attack now with 4 scouts. He's looking for an opening or an opportunity at Viper's base. He'll find it. There is a hole there. And meanwhile, this stable could actually fall. At which point, Daut will have already made the scouts, but it's still less than ideal.
Yeah, it's true. You might want that later on, especially as Indians in the Castle Age toss out some camels or something. But for now, I think Daut is just going to have to make the most of his scouts as they run in. Going to try and find some villager picks, Zach.
And he looks like he's going to get one before that spear moves in. Daut needs to just get out the way, but actually no. He's actually going to take the fight there and focus fire on the spearman. That might have actually been the better choice. Yeah, because that way he doesn't have to deal with multiple spearmen later. He can just deal with one at a time. Really nicely done. One villager down. One spearman down, and he's coming in with another scout now, and he's going to turn back around with the reinforcement, immediately focusing on the spear with a bit of micro. He shouldn't take, yeah, there you go, shouldn't take too much losses, actually throwing away his 2 weak scouts there, and now he's going to find another. Wait, no, he won't. There's not a hole. I thought that was a hole. Viper's just walled this villager in.
Yeah, she's essentially, yeah, she's trapped. She's idle. So the interesting transitions here. Viper still, I'm looking at what he's doing. All I see is 3 men at arms and spears. That's it. He hasn't gone for an archery range. Meanwhile, we have 2 archery ranges for Daut and that blacksmith. So he's going to go for a ton of skirmishers and probably go into the fletching upgrade and then push out to this gold, which is what he so badly needs. But I like what he's doing with his scouts. Viper is so distracted.
I absolutely agree. This counterattack was so worth it. Okay, yes, Daut did lose his stable, but the value in creating the distraction and bringing Viper's army back home, exactly as you said, allows him to come forward with these buildings and start securing this area of the map a bit more. I'd like to hear a bit of Nilford's take on this at the moment. How do you feel like Daut's position is right now as he moves across the map with these skirms?
I think Daut will keep up his aggression here, going for more skirms, going for fletching, and the Viper seems to be trying to go for a very reasonable, maybe even too fast castle age approach here. Only now got up his archery ranges, no blacksmith around, and not sure if he can finish those walls in the south. And if Dauts get in there, he can keep up the productions now on gold as well, and skirms and archers against only villagers. Let's see how the Viper will get out his units to defend.
Yeah, Viper quick walling off. That was pretty successful for him, but he will lose this army potentially. Obviously, the skirmishers are very bad at fighting against the man-at-arms, but now that the spearmen are dead, Daut can utilize his scout cavalry here and clear this up. So I think Daut's feeling pretty good. He has got the map control. And what's Viper's response going to be? As you said, I mean, maybe he could turtle a bit here and go for a reasonable castle time. If we look at Daut's economy, it looks like he's just committing to making skirms and now switching into archers. But I'd still be a bit worried for Daut. I still feel like his map is really not ideal, especially when it comes to taking gold, and he has to really keep this aggression going, otherwise he could lose access to gold completely, and that could be really ruining the game for him.
This might be where you'd want to put a preemptive tower up on that gold. You might want to think about that at least.
Yeah, exactly. This is where a preemptive tower makes sense, because unlike Slam's tower last game, Daut's actually planning on taking the gold. You know, he needs the gold.
I can't help but think that Viper has been comfortable throughout all of this. He's going with his own skirmishers now. Obviously, if Daut still had that stable, Viper would know, and he'd say, you know what? This isn't going to be good for me out here, but that stable's gone down, and it's going to be hard for Daut to create more scouts. Interesting engagement coming up. I'm comparing upgrades and fletching for both. Are some archers in there for Viper, though. And I mean, sorry, for Daut. And I think Viper's going to go back.
Yeah, but Daut has
he's
the
so
numbers.
safe.
Who, Viper here?
Yeah, his base itself is locked down, I think. He can always retreat to his TC. So I don't think he's too worried. He just needs to be careful not to lose his units.
Yeah, he's going to micro back. I mean, he's outnumbered by about 6 units, I think, but some of those are back at Daut's base, so it's not quite as badly one-sided as it might be at this front line. And Viper, of course, has the reinforcement advantage as well, and that's always something really important to keep in mind. This scout, though, actually disrupting things quite a lot.
Yeah.
But you really see just how badly these units perform without ballistics, and that's why that technology is so valuable. You just see so many of these javelins in the floor because they missed. All it takes is just to move your army around a bit, and suddenly your enemy can't hit you. So Viper actually able to push out on this. Some of these skirms are very low, but I think the same could be said for Daut's army as well. And, oh, maybe not, actually. Daut is looking a little healthier here, so the numbers could be misleading. Daut looking about even on numbers in this fight, but Viper with less HP overall.
Yeah, I think Daut's going to be clicking up the castle age well ahead of Viper too. I saw Viper had like 300, 400 food or something, and I was like, wow, this looks promising
then
for
he did
him.
plus
But then,
one
of course,
defense.
Exactly. And then he created a lot more skirmishers, and it seems like Daut just had more villagers for so long. It's really paid off for him here. He just needs to hold his advantage. He's on his way to the castle age. He's building a stable. But Nilly, what do you think of the stable spot? Like the location of it.
Again, it would have been so much better if it was further back. But I think Viper cannot really go for it anyways. But Yeah, exactly.
He
When I
wants to.
say this, he might be going for it nonetheless.
No, he wants to because he's done the +1 defense. He wouldn't do the +1 defense if he wasn't looking for an engagement right now, because he knows that he might be a little bit outnumbered, but if he has the upgrade advantage, he could take the fight anyway. Right now, though, we do see Daut just holding onto the hill, and by doing that, Viper just can't comfortably take a fight. He also sees that Daut is actually making a lot more archers now, and so he's going to anticipate Daut making more archers, and in return, he's going to make archers and maybe more skirmishers himself. In reality, we know that Daut's adding the stable, but let's not forget the Indians do not have knights. They do not get knights, so the best they can do is camels, and they're not as effective versus skirms, and they're certainly not as effective at raiding either. So the decision to keep making archers from Daut is, in my opinion, the best decision he could make here.
I think we'll see a good mix because we've seen this so many times this tournament. Elite skirmisher, crossbow, and knights and camels. This is not something that is rare. And Viper's trying to buy himself some more time. He has done that. He's going to run his skirmishers back, and he's been walling up, Zach. If you look, he built a gate there. Wow. He's going to send his skirmishers back home. And look at the top. He's now fighting a jaguar. Woo, 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 rah, 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 whatever. And he's going to have to wall that off.
Whatever they say.
Once he does that, he's going to be secure. It's a nice little base he's set up for himself.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see Viper walling like this. Viper's one of those players who loves to play without walls. And in tournament games, yeah, you see him putting the walls down. But this is like really heavily fortified. He's got one layer of wall out here and then another layer behind it. He's got a house wall here, which is actually probably the weakest part in the whole thing. And then he's got this like double wall with the barracks and palisade, with then the secondary wall behind it with the archery range. Is just so defensive. And for Viper, I mean, he knows that that's the right play to make because Daut hits castle and he's really not ready to fight. And as we've said before, wow. Okay, look at that palisade gate right there. Now you see it, now you don't. Holy crap, that went down fast.
Where is it?
That was insane there. Daut actually could break through this pretty quickly. These houses, just 400 HP. We saw how quickly the palisade gate went down. Go on, Daut. In you go. House actually a little more defensive than a palisade gate, I think, actually. Does the house have a higher building armor than the gate?
I don't know. That gate went down really fast. It doesn't make any sense to me. No. I guess if you compare the cost, maybe you could...
Okay, right now Viper needs a siege workshop and a mangonel. That's what I'm feeling. He needs to get that down. I don't think he can afford it. Yeah, and he's placed it, I think, as well. What's the siege workshop?
He hasn't researched Bodkin yet. It's just now coming in.
Weird.
Or is he getting elite skirmisher first?
Oh,
elite skirmisher first, so he doesn't have Bodkin.
Yeah. That's pretty huge. He's actually doing skirmisher and crossbow, so he's going to be ready to go. But that skirmisher upgrade could be the really important difference maker here, because that's what Daut is missing. However, Daut has +2/+2, and Viper still only on 1/1.
I don't know how I feel about Daut's position here. I mean, I think he ventured in a little bit too far. Viper recognized that he deleted the house foundations. He's running out now. Just giving Viper a little bit of time to get those upgrades and push back. Oh gosh, I can't speak. Daut back.
Yeah, actually, that wasn't a bad
Daut did
fight
complete
at all.
Thumb Ring, so keep that in mind. Okay. Daut completed Thumb Ring, so that's expensive, and that'll really help him in the micro wars.
And actually, Viper here making a university instead of a siege workshop.
Wow.
He's really going to be going for ballistics here and just stepping up on the gas with this unit production. Interesting choice. And I think for the Viper, I mean, at the end of the day, playing as the Vietnamese, we know that they have these really strong crossbows and skirms. Adding a couple of knights as well, maybe this could be great. But at the same time, Daut can very easily add camels, and we've already seen him adding them already. Or at least I've heard them. I've heard one. I've heard one camel.
Yeah, one.
And, he should be making some more camels to deal with these knights. But look at this forward TC from Daut. This is another reason why I think Viper could benefit from a siege workshop now. If he was able to start taking this hill and mangonel this TC down, he could deny a lot of gold from Daut as well. And yeah, I feel like Daut, not a bad position, but Viper certainly still has ways back into this, or, to start putting the pressure back onto him.
I'm feeling good about my casting right now because I was kind of correct. I actually think Daut's ahead in military and an eco right now, but Viper is the one piling on the aggression. But you notice he's later to each upgrade. He's later to the crossbow and the skirmisher upgrades. Daut didn't get elite skirmisher, but he did get thumb ring. He has the siege workshop up before Viper. Viper's just now putting it up.
Yeah.
Viper's going to be running around, and this is going to be a very important fight. But I feel like Daut is just one step ahead of Viper right now.
Yeah, definitely one step ahead, but, you know, this is why I think Viper can still kind of pull this. It depends how these fights go. Now we've got Mangonels in the picture. This is where things can get really dicey. One good Mangonel shot can completely turn the game around. Now, as you said, Viper is behind in military. Daut has about 40 military units. Viper has just 36. Actually, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I think it's a little bit deceptive because Daut's got his whole army together. And let's not forget, Daut actually doesn't have skirms, but he does have the additional +1 defense here as well. Yeah, right now I want to add as well, Viper on 1 TC still. Daut already up to 3, and we've spoke about this before already, how Daut can very easily keep villager production going while he still goes very heavy into army, just because of how cheap those Indian villagers are. And Daut now going for the hill. I think we're going to see the fight. This is it. Mangonel shot comes in, it misses.
This is going to be great.
Oh, Viper on the side. Huge Mangonel shot. It didn't kill anything, but it did do huge damage. And Daut there losing 1 Mangonel already, falling back to the TC now. And don't you just think that the extra HP on these skirms and crossbows makes such a huge difference when the Mangonels come into play? Especially when Viper's on the hill.
Yeah, it really does. And I feel like Daut was a little bit late with some of these upgrades. He just got his university up, so I said he was one step ahead, but he's just now clicking ballistics. That hill's so important, like you said earlier, Zach. Viper recognizing that, and he's just going to try and pressure from there. But I guess the question is Viper going to commit a lot to that, or is it just going to be a nuisance? Well, 2 TCs now for Viper.
Also, Viper trading 2 Mangonels for 1 as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and this is huge because the Vietnamese extra health means that if these guys are stood on the hill with their melee armor and their 41 HP, they can tank a Mangonel shot and then some. They're so strong in this position. Viper also getting a couple of vills here on the wood line. And straight away, pressuring that TC. That's what I wanted to see the Viper do a couple of minutes ago. And also, Battle Elephant hype. What's going on here, Viper? Is this the right unit choice? I don't know. I'm questioning that.
I'm trying to focus on all the Mangonels as well, because you can see Daut trying to focus down this Battle Elephant, but he needs to be careful because the Mangonel shot... I love hearing the Mangonel fire into the water. For some reason, it's just refreshing.
Such a satisfying splash, isn't it? Really nice.
Exactly.
Daut here, though, immediately, I like this, immediately, as soon as he sees these elephants, he's like, right, camels. This is what I do best. Let me do what I do best. You know, Viper, give me a reason to make camels here. And he definitely has a damn good reason now. But watch this here. Viper with a Mangonel. Oh, he's going to completely dodge the entire Mangonel shot. And there's another one. Viper, though, could have maybe attacked ground or maybe moved the Mangonel into a better position before firing. That was pretty underwhelming. And Daut there, going to kill a villager.
I thought that was actually an attack ground. I could be wrong, but that was really smart thinking. Daut's like, you know what? I'm not going to commit that small choke point. That'd be stupid. I'm going to run back. He might be able to take this house down and run in, so Viper's going to have to address that. As that fight still goes on the front, there's so much going on. Obviously, this is the finals, guys, and this is the best of the best. They have earned it. 4 Mangonels for Daut underneath this TC. He is not messing around at all.
I was going to say that. Mangonel's City here. 4 Mangonels for Daut. He trades it out as well. So Viper's got no more pressure coming in on the TC. And Viper's shown his hand here. The Battle Elephants, I feel like if you want the Battle Elephants to work, they have to be a surprise. You have to get like 10, 12 Battle Elephants. And then it's like, surprise, Battle Elephants. But what we saw was 1 Battle Elephant, and Daut's like, oh, okay, let's just start making camels, and we can deal with this, no problem. Daut playing very defensively here, but I think it's to his benefit. 3 TCs, he's had the villager advantage now for some time, and Daut's going to click to the Imperial Age any second. Viper much further away, and a much more imbalanced economy, with 1,600 gold. And not really any food whatsoever. These Battle Elephants are expensive, man.
They're really expensive, and that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, if Viper's going to commit to the battle elephants, he has to commit to a Castle Age attack, I think.
Yeah.
2 Mangonels for Viper, 5 for Daut, and Daut will have the Imperial Age upgrade first. Daut has been so comfortable here.
Nice.
So comfortable. And great micro there with the Mangonels.
Here we go on the bottom side. Viper didn't notice. He's going to get hit by 1 Mangonel shot. He'll take a lot of damage, but as we said just earlier, these guys can tank the Mangonel shot if it's uphill and do that very comfortably as well. But still, 2 Mangonels coming in now. Viper will lose some of these crossbows and he at least be forced back. But seriously, Viper having to build a market is he's got 2.2k gold and he has to buy his way to the Imperial Age. That is something you never want to do in any real ideal situation. But I think he's realized that Daut's gone up and he needs to match it somehow.
Zach, we're going to see something exciting. Look in the archery ranges of Daut.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Whoa.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I'm so excited to see how this works out.
The first time we've ever seen cavalry archers in this tournament or Battle for Angkor. That's nuts. I mean, people just don't...
And there's a lot of them as well.
What are the Indians looking like on the cap? Maybe you can check this for us, Nilpford, because I can't open the tech tree right now. What are the upgrades looking like for the cavalry archers for the Indians? I've got a feeling they're pretty good. I'm sure they get Parthian tactics.
They are good.
Yeah,
They
have
are good,
all the upgrades. So, yeah, in AOC there were only 2 civs which had all the upgrades, Saracens and Turks.
Yeah.
And it seems like Indians are, on the same level.
Yeah, no,
They're great, but I guess the downside of the Cav Archers has always been the cost. And Daut has been back here booming and defending wonderfully on the front this entire time. If he gets his castle up on the front and has the mobility of Cav Archers, Viper's in trouble.
I'm so hyped to see this, seriously. The backyard boom from Daut just working so well, and these cavalry archers are going to be such a huge surprise for the Viper. Now, it's not like they're an incredibly powerful unit, or like, you know, that they're somehow super special. It's just that this is so unusual. In AOC, the only time we see cavalry archers is with the Huns, really, and sometimes the Mongols occasionally. And this time around, like, in the expansions, the Turks have insane cavalry archers. They have like 100 HP, I think. They're really, really strong due to their unique technology. But, I mean, this is so cool to see. Indians do have very strong cavalry archers, and where are the upgrades here for Daut? I'm not seeing heavy cavalry archer coming in yet. He's actually just upgraded light cavalry first.
I like that. I think he wants to make sure that these skirmishers run back home before he sends his expensive archer units out. He has researched, he's researching Arbalest, which makes perfect sense considering he has all these crossbows. And then he may go for the Cav Archer upgrades. But man, he has Bracer right now. Chemistry has not been researched yet. The Trebuchet is already out, and Viper, just like in the beginning of the Castle Age, he is hiding underneath his TC.
Yeah, Viper, though, now just completing Arbalest himself. These Vietnamese Arbalest are very strong, 48 health. Pretty formidable. And in the Siege Workshop here, a couple of Mangonels, nothing too special going on over there. Viper with a few monks here. Maybe he's anticipating some of those Imperial camels, perhaps. That's something that the Indians have as a unique unit, and they're very, very strong in the late game. But right now, Daut, great control of the map. He's got the castle up already, as you said, the Treb out, and he's building another castle on this hill, securing him yet another stone mine. I'm feeling so good for Daut right now. I just cannot wait to see Viper's reaction when all these cavalry archers come flooding at him, and out they come as well.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be a surprise for Viper. I do want to point out, as this castle is being contested, those 3 monks that went above Viper's base all went for 3 relics. So they're all going to get those relics. So that'll be a huge deal. That hill's so important, and Daut has been pushed off of it. Arbalest, Cav Archers.
Yeah, Daut's just biding his time. He's biding his time. He's doing elite skirmisher. He's like, okay, well, he's got to stop the castle from going down. He's got 1,000 health, and it's going down pretty quick with these Mangonels behind it. If he loses the castle, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for him. I don't think he's going to be that bothered, because he knows that he's got a huge mass of units back here. He's just waiting for those upgrades, and there's the heavy cavalry archer upgrade coming in now. Exciting
delete
stuff. Yeah, I think so too, actually.
It's a little risky.
Maybe he's going to delete it at the last second so that Viper wastes time attacking. Oh, no, he's rushing out. He's going to try and complete it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there's the Vils, and he's pushing out, coming up to the hill. The cavalry archers from the back are going to move in as well, and the heavy cavalry archer upgrade's going to pop in any second now, and Viper's just going to be like, whoa, this army's just come out of nowhere.
Expecting this.
This is insane. Viper with a huge lack of units here versus Daut. Daut with a couple of nice mangonel shots in there as well. And those cavalry archers on the hill so incredibly strong. 80 HP versus the 48 of the Arbalest. And I think even though Daut will lose his villagers building the castle, he will secure this hill and he will secure this fight because Viper's lost everything, man. Oh, wow.
Destroyed.
It's over.
He's been destroyed by the Cav archers.
Wow, Daut. Did not see that coming. Could have not possibly seen that coming. What a game. What an absolute beast of a game. Love it.
You know what? I'm happy that we've talked about the element of surprise so many times where players have shown their stable too early or their elephants too early in this case. I'm really happy that Daut sent out the Cav archers and was able to win in one big fight because Viper had no time to prepare. That was beautiful play from Daut.
Incredible stuff. And that was game number 1. This is a best of 5, guys. We've still got potentially 4 more games to come. And Daut is going to take this first game as well versus the Viper here. What a great enjoyable game, and honestly every time we see the Indians I'm impressed. They have a really broad tech tree. They've got so many options. They have an insane economy thanks to those cheaper villagers. But not only that, it's just the way that they play. They can play so aggressively and still boom at the same time. And it makes it so difficult to predict what's going on if you're in the Viper's position. You're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
how hard is he booming back there? I don't know. He's making a lot of military. Against a normal standard Civ, I'd assume he's maybe on 1 or 2 TCs, not 3 TC full boom. And suddenly Daut, just out of nowhere, boom, heavy cavalry archers. And Viper's just overwhelmed. Amazing, amazing game.
Yeah, it was great. And it was great to see Viper go on the offensive there because we said, okay, Viper's not comfortable with this. So he tried to go on that hill, and Daut, the master of defending and booming and finishing, wins game 1. That was great.
Amazing. I love the Viper 9999's fan in the chat. He's like, Bible thump, fire, Bible thump. He's got plenty of time for a comeback. Okay, so I want to keep the hype going, so I want to go straight into the next game. Do you want to do the Civ draft, or should we just go straight into it?
I feel like the Civ draft adds an awful lot to it because we've seen a lot of these Civs. So I feel like we should talk to the viewers about like why players might prefer this, because I thought that Daut had the advantage going into this with Indian. So I think we should definitely do that.
Okay, absolutely. I agree with you. And let's just do the Civ draft straight away here then.
Okay.
Okay, so are you